Hi everyone, I'm Adam Brady of Straight Glass Warrior JKD and RevisedReality.com. And in this video, what I'd like to do is introduce and teach you the basic Sinawali 6 count. So Sinawali refers to two equal length weapons held in either hand. So this could be two sticks like I've got here. It could be two long blades. It could be two short knives. It could be maglite flashlights. It could be a broken pool cue. It could be two umbrellas, crowbars, anything that are the same size basically, so you have the same body mechanics with each of the two weapons on either side. So the 6 count is a fundamental drill in Filipino martial arts, and if you're not a martial artist, you may be saying, well, why should I do this? Or if you're a martial artist and you don't do either Kali or Eskrima, you might say, what would I get out of this? Well, first, it's a functional pattern that if you are going to whip the 6 count at somebody as they're coming in at you at full speed, they're going to be coming in on a buzzsaw, no matter what it is, what weapon you might be carrying or using in that point. So it makes it difficult for them to enter on you, and you're going to get a lot of impact and hit as they try to enter on you. But more importantly, since there are so many attributes attributed to the use of different weapons through the practice of Filipino martial arts, we start with weapons so that you can start to incorporate those in your empty hand training. So in Filipino martial arts, they start with the weapons. That way, as you make your way to empty hands, you've already developed a lot of those mechanics, those movements, that sensitivity that applies to empty hands and makes your empty hand training that much more effective. So we get all kinds of attributes from doing this very, very simple drill. We get chambering and body mechanics and angulation, one hand, one off, timing, reflexes, it goes on. And as you start to practice this and become more comfortable with the pattern, you're going to see all types of refinement in your movement, not just with the sticks or with whatever weapon you happen to be practicing with, but with your empty hands, your boxing, your whatever you're doing, you're going to see that tightness in timing, in coordination, all those things start to build from there. So what I'll do is introduce the pattern, we'll break it down, I'll show you a couple different variations on combinations for high-low high, and then a couple different ways to train it to build up a little bit of heat, to go a little bit faster, and just to have fun with it. That's the whole point of this drill, is to play. It's not necessarily always the way that we would fight, but you get the movement down, and it really starts to work in every area of your physical training. It's a real powerful functional movement. So here's what the basic 6 count looks like, and just so you know, there is footwork that will be added to this. I'm not going to so much show that now, but I just, for now, just be aware that we would be moving. We wouldn't necessarily be standing still as we do this drill, and when we add a partner, and we're actually making contact with their stick, we're all over the place. We're going up and down and circling, and male triangle, female triangle, high-low high, changing elevation, going down to one knee, lying down, back up. We're all over the place. So you can really start to play around with this. But here's what the basic 6 count looks like. We're chamber starting on one side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as I said, it's chambering the movement. So you always have one hand making contact. As the other goes out, the other comes back in, and reload, reload, hit, reload, hit, reload, hit, reload at the same time. So you're always putting one weapon out there, and then the other is coming right behind as you reload, left and right, over and over and over. So we'll start by cutting this motion in half into a 3 count. So the 3 count starts like this. We're going to start loaded on the right-hand side. So the right stick over your shoulder, left stick underneath, right back up against your ribs here. And this is your position, left foot forward, just basic, good stance-based position. So we're going to start with the right hand. 1 hits toward the head, 2 with the left hand, right hand comes back, and then 3, right hand goes back, left hand comes back, bringing your elbow in towards your hip. Okay, again, 1, 2, 3. You'll see I'm leaning a little bit. I'll talk more about that shortly. But 1, 2, 3. 1 right, 2 left, 3 right again. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so remember, whenever you have one hand out, the other is coming back or already loaded. So it's always coming and going like that. So now we're going to do the 3 count on the opposite side. So chambering now on the left. So we've got the left stick high over the shoulder, right stick chambered underneath, right up next to your ribs here. So same thing. 1 with the left, 2 with the right, and then 3 with the left again. Reset. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, we're going high, hitting toward the head for all of these shots. When we talk about high, low, high, we'll talk about different targets. But for right now, just to get you familiar with the movement, all high, 2, 3. High to the head, coming back, chambering over your opposite shoulder, high to the head, and then chambering back toward the hip, high to the head. So that's the 3 count chambered on the left. So chambering on the right, chambering on the left. I'd say start with a 3 count, become familiar with that. Rep that a couple dozen times on each side separately. And now we're just going to weave them together, and that will become the 6 count. So here we go, chambering starting on the right-hand side. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going right into the opposite. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the trick here is cutting the space in between the 2, 3 counts. And that's done by reloading your right hand very quickly to get it back under after number 3. So 1, 2, 3. Gotta get this under here so 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6 can come out immediately afterward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whenever I train with my students, they always have the same problem leaving this one out here too long, and they can't figure out why they can't get it back in play for number 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, get it under. 4, 5, 6. So that's the basics of the 6 count. And as I said, this is so valuable, not just for the sticks, because if you put the sticks down and you're going empty hands and you've learned this pattern and it becomes instinctive and reflexive in your nervous system, somebody throws a punch at you and bang, bang, bang. You've got this movement where you're always crossing and ready to go and shoot. One hand in, one hand off, and it does this great thing for your body mechanics and your movement and your angulation. So, talking about angulation for a second, the idea behind a lot of the movement in Kali and Eskrima is to zone to what's called zero pressure. So if somebody's swinging a weapon at you, it could be their fist, could be a stick, could be a knife, there's a point where the power is at its maximum as it comes towards you. So if I swing towards you, this is the last place you want to be here in the arc because that's where it's the most powerful. That's like 100% pressure. If I start here at like 10%, work my way up, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, bang, you're getting hit with everything that I've got from a kinetic and energy standpoint, and then it dissipates as it comes back around. So in the Filipino martial arts, we try to get to what's called zero pressure, the point where there's the least amount of pressure on you, so that means getting to the side, lateral movement. Wing Chun Kung Fu, on the other hand, does the straight blast, the forward pressure coming right down the center line. So they're always trying to maintain center line. We, with Kali, trying to get to either side. So that's why you see me leaning so much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. You're trying to get from side to side. And as you see, when you start doing this, you may not feel it so much as you're doing it solo in the mirror or shadow boxing it. But when you put a partner in there and you're banging sticks together, you're trying to get to different sides and move around each other in circle and trying to minimize the amount of pressure coming at you from your opponent's stick. Okay, so this is the standard, or I should say, heaven 6 count. So there are 3 different variations I'm going to show you. The first one is what we've already been doing. You can refer to it as heaven 6 count. Why heaven? Because all the points of the stick are going up. Always up for this 6 count variation. High, 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 high. So it's always point going up. Now the standard 6 count breaks that up. So on counts 2 and 5, the stick is going to go low. So you can imagine bashing somebody in the knee, potentially the groin, maybe a thigh shot, somewhere along that lower line. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's heaven, now standard 6 is going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. High, low, high, high, low, high. So it's just another way to scramble your nervous system to make it a little bit more complex on what you're doing. High-low, high attacks are really, really good for throwing off your opponent, breaking up the rhythm, changing what you're doing. It's great for overall training to just be aware of the different levels that you're going to be moving at. So if we can do all high, and we can break up high, low, high, and there are lots of variations in between, we can then go to all earth, which means the points of the stick are all pointing down for all 6 strikes. So here we are, we start in the same position, low, 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 low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And keep in mind, I'm starting on the right-hand side just because I think most people start on the right. I learned it on the right, but you also have to be ready to go on the left. I mean, yeah, it transposes because you're essentially doing 3 count on the right, 3 count on the left, but don't hesitate to start up on the left so that your body gets used to just being prepared to go into it from the left-hand chambered position. So all point down is called earth. So we have heaven, points up, standard, a mixture of high and low, 2 and 5 going low in this particular variation, and then all low for the earth. Okay, so and if you really want to play with yourself, a great way to drill this, I put together a chart I use that has basically the breakdown of all the possible combinations, 8 on the left, 8 on the right, and you can just randomize this. I use like old Dungeons and Dragons 8-sided dice, throw 2 of them, and then I'm surprising my nervous system. I'm continually learning, and every time it gets comfortable. Every point that I'm just like, okay, high, low, high, high, whatever, wherever I'm going, low, low, high, low. Whenever it starts to feel comfortable, after I've done it for maybe a dozen or 20 repetitions, that's when you want to switch it up again. You want to get the brain scramble, because the brain scramble is literally your nervous system just going, and you want that because that's the adaptation response, trying to find a way to get past all that fuzziness so that you can come up with something new, something creative, and keep going with the pattern. So just find your own way, play around with that. And let me just now add a few additional tidbits to tighten this up a little bit. The first is how you cover with the stick. As we've been doing this, I've been extending my arms pretty wide just to help you see where the stick is going, the actual trajectory to leave it nice and wide. In reality, you want to be able to cover, similar to how a boxer is covering. So if I'm chambered here, I don't want to leave the stick way open because I might get hit. Think about keeping it in close. So if I throw this shot out, then this one comes back, covering my face here, bang, toward my face, bang, 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 bang. Just tightening up the movement so it's not quite so leaving a stem way out here to get bashed whenever you're doing it. In the beginning, I mean, it's going to take a while. I've been doing this pattern since 1991, and I'm still refining and cleaning it up and getting it tighter and playing around with different ways to do it. So don't be hard on yourself. It takes a lot of repetitions to get the movement, and then to start adding different things or adding half beats. And I'm not even going to get into that, but just imagine if this is 1 beat, 2 beat, 3 beat, 4, 5, and 6, then you go 1.5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1.5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're constantly breaking the rhythm and overwhelming your nervous system so it can adapt faster. Okay, so the last part I want to show you now is really kind of a power lean to really rep this out and get that lateral movement. And because you'll be doing this, it'll get a nice little warm up on your forearms after a while because you want to keep a nice good grip. And I didn't mention, you really want to have like 2 to 3 fingers from the butt of the stick. It's called a puño. We can actually hit with this as well, but we keep a tight grip on the stick. It's not like we're twirling it around like a baton. We want to really hold on to it so we don't lose it, because as you get more advanced and you start to play with disarms, you don't want to let go of your stick. You want to make sure you hang on to that thing. So keep a tight grip. So what that'll do is heat up your forearms after a while. As you start getting used to this and moving around, you do about 5 or 10 minutes of 6-count or Sinawali drills, your forearms are really going to get fatigued and build up some lactic acid. So that's great, but your strength and your grip will improve over time. However, if you want to make this more of a really dynamic movement and to build up that lateral lean from side to side, is kind of a power lean variation that I like to work with every now and then. I get in a little bit of a wider base, I load up, and then I just start shooting back and forth and getting a really exaggerated lean back and forth, and just shoot, 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 shoot. Because what this is doing is helping me develop more power behind these long shots. I'm driving my weight in and dropping everything I've got into these shots as I lean back and forth, high, low, high, mix it up, and just back and forth. You do this for maybe a minute, 30 seconds, 90 seconds, you'll really feel your heart rate start to ramp up, because it's not just about the arms. In the beginning, yeah, just tap, 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 tap. And you can go light like this if that feels comfortable for you. You're not trying to bang and wake up everybody in the neighborhood as you're hitting your sticks. But once in a while, start to get this real rip it, so you can just smack and hit hard to develop that carryover. And this is where I said the attributes carry over to your empty hands. Because if I'm here and I'm throwing shots, this is not terribly powerful. I mean, you might stun somebody, it might open up another line, so you could kick in the groin or poke in the eyes or whatever. But if you are, you carry all of your weight in the same way from this lean side to side. That's where you develop some power that's based off of this initial drill. So I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about, just to give you the idea of how powerful, functional, and attribute-rich this particular drill is. You can get so much out of it. As I said, once we start to add the footwork and we're moving around, it can be much more combative, and you get that feel for where you're going and high, low, high, and all those combinations. It does so much for your attributes, your body mechanics, your timing, your coordination. Even if you don't do weapons training, it still has so much to offer as you learn to angle and move around and chamber and have one hand in, one hand off, and develop sensitivity. It's just a great all-around movement from a functional standpoint. Even if you don't even ever plan to train martial arts, you pick up this drill, it's going to give you so many functional benefits. And I'm a real strong believer in minimalism and keeping things very simple. This is a simple, basic drill. There are so many drills in the Filipino martial arts, it's crazy. But if you start to learn this one, everything can build from there, because it's really, in the beginning, you might watch this and go, whoa, that's a lot of chambering, I don't know what to do there. But once you start to get the idea behind it and you build it in, it'll start to feel normal and natural. And then everything from there, you can start to add half beats and all different types of movements. So there you have it. Basic 6 count, play around with it, have fun. And if you have questions, leave them in the comments, or you can email me at revisereality.com and we can chat about it. But try it out, play with it, see if it works for you. And if it does, terrific. If it doesn't, move on, find something else. Thanks for watching.